24/7.
Are you ready to talk about sex?
No, let's talk about relationships.
Or is it time to talk about dating, taboos?
It's on your mind.
So let's talk about it
On Nightlife 24/7.
Hello, everybody. As always, I'm your boy Mac. Welcome back to Nightlife 24/7. And as always, my girl Sweet.
Josen, what's cracking? Are you dry today? That's the question.
You chose to get out there in that craziness.
Hey, I got caught up.
Yeah, I couldn't do that, man. I couldn't do that. I'm sorry. One thing I've learned about Atlanta, when it rains, everybody wants to drive and crash. Honey, I'm going out and drive in the rain and hit a tree. Well, baby, we need a new car, so I'm going to go run in 3 or 4 people.
Play bumper cars in the rain. It's a sport here for some reason.
Yeah, there's my boy David. What's up, D?
Hey, sorry for trying to get comfortable.
Yeah, I understand. So today I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I've always spoke about it, but this is the first time I'm actually gonna do it. I'm in a lot of different groups on FetLife and other different groups in different places, and so it's Sweet. And people tend to put their information out there asking for advice on different situations. Now, please understand this. I am polyamorous. Sweet is polyamorous. David is not polyamorous. So I just want y'all guys to understand that.
Poor David.
I know. He is so limited. He's so limited in his options.
Okay, for starters, polyamory was something I definitely considered years ago. But then after encountering a whole lot of difficulty with finding like-minded people, it just kind of fell off my radar.
Well, we get it. Understood. Good. All right, so I'm going to read this, and then we're going to comment on it and give our opinion and our advice. 20-something female in the Midwest asked, I've been in a monogamous relationship for 6 years, and we have had our ups and downs, but my male partner is becoming fairly pushy about opening our relationship. Context is important, so I should let you know that when we first met, I was no way looking for a commitment, but was willing to have an open relationship. He decided he would rather be monogamous, but it was okay if I continue to have outside relationships. I didn't like the dynamic, and we have been monogamous for the entire committed relationship. Since our first meeting, I have had several traumas: unwanted pregnancy, weight gain, loss of a job, severe car accident, and more. We are currently still rebuilding from the car accident and the tumor that they found in his head, and the cancer they found and damage to my eyes, which left me unable to do my previous job. I still can't drive and have started doing online sex work, which I have been mildly successful in. Now that I've started in this line of work and we've gotten to a better place physically, he has brought up polyamory several times. He has stated differing reasons, such as wanting to see me more confident, needing to meet his own sexual needs, experience a relationship with people of the same culture, meeting my emotional needs. He's not very good at that, and more. I am not against the idea of polyamory in any way, but every time it's brought up, I feel like a gut punch to the stomach, and the fear of not being enough consumes me. I would love to explore my sexuality more, being a bisexual woman, exploring my kinks, but I am heartbroken at the idea that my changed body and broken confidence is the true reason he'd like to reach out. We don't have great connection right now as friends, and having a 2-year-old doesn't help with that. I'm also concerned about our STD positive status and how I haven't had to divulge that to another partner or take many precautions due to him being the one I contracted it from. I know the community is sex positive, but the stigma still remains, and I feel guilt at possibly exploring other partners. I think that's the gist of my current situation. I'm also in therapy to work on bettering myself and my confidence, as well as finding inner strength to avoid my people-pleasing nature. So, is this just a sign that maybe our relationship is doomed, or should I give this more consideration since I have wanted an open relationship in the past? Has anybody else experienced in this similar situation? All right, go ahead, sweet, because I know you're ready. Dive right in.
Baby, first of all, she needs to finish therapy before she do anything else.
I agree.
However, she does sound like an individual that's pretty honest with herself. But she did interject the reasoning for her partner for suggesting it. She's like, she feels like it's her body and all these other things as to why. But if that was originally on the table before those changes happened to her body, that sounds like her own insecurity. Now, off to the STD situation.
Yeah.
I feel like she's probably only with this guy because it's her fault. She did not take proper precautions. She did not properly vet him. And she feels like she's stuck with this guy. Because other than that, she wouldn't feel like she has to please someone and then properly disclose her status when obviously he didn't disclose that status to her.
No, he definitely didn't. I'm gonna hit this like Steve Harvey does it in his morning show. There's a couple of reasons. We're gonna start with number one. One, you guys.
She gave me a headache.
Yeah. One, right off the bat, she came in hardcore with the drama of everything that's going on. Hold on, Dave. What's up, Dave?
I can't recall, but are they married?
No.
Even worse.
Maybe.
Continue.
No. First of all, she started off with, we are going through some things right now. A car accident, a tumor, cancer, lost eyesight, can't work my job, have a 2-year-old. Woo! Therapy. I'm not confident anymore. I've lost my self-esteem. Listen,
but you're talking about being polyamorous. You need to be single.
Yeah, polyamory shouldn't even be on your mind right now. That's the last thing that should be on your mind right now. You need to figure out what it is y'all need to do to get y'all back to a solid foundation. Not even you. I mean, not y'all.
Church.
You. Get yourself there.
Holy water. One of them cloths you buy in the middle of the night when they say $12.99 and this will take you to heaven and take all your sins away. One of them.
You know, what was that special water from the spring?
You got some stuff that can't be fixed with a letter.
Okay.
Oh my God. No.
Here's something I'd like to throw out for consideration. First and foremost, you guys commented about me not being polyamorous at present. Large part of the reason why polyamory was something I haven't seriously pursued is because I'm of the opinion that there are so many people that don't know what they want in a traditional relationship, let alone trying to find somebody that's got their proverbial shit together for a polyamorous relationship. That's almost literally like finding a needle in a haystack.
No,
I
I can't
do
argue with you on
agree,
that. You're right.
to an extent, because sometimes if you get two people that don't know what they want, we can agree that we don't know what we want. So you may want a intellectual level of a polyamorous relationship, and somebody else just want in-house pussy and out-house pussy. To
That's
them,
true.
that's their polyamorous relationship. So we're
But
looking at things on a highly intelligent level of structure in a relationship. But if people are already used to a broken traditional relationship, they're going to want a broken polyamorous relationship as well. So we can't put our own educated value on a topic that is so vast, because people get married and don't respect their vows. So
right.
they should just be polyamorous.
Well,
I personally think, and this is just me, I think she needs to figure out
Finish her counseling.
who she is and what she wants specifically. Only for the simple fact that she is not being true to whoever she is. I don't know who that is. And the fact that you have a 2-year-old
She don't know
involved
who
in
she
this.
is either.
Right. So, to me, in my personal opinion, I think she needs to come to that realization first. And then if she realizes through that she is still open to open relationship, then I think you need to do some research. You need to read some books, books on ethical non-monogamy. I think there was one called
Bible, a Torah,
The Ethical Slut.
and
Yeah,
a Dextra. She needs
yeah,
some real books, some soul searching books. Sister got some problems.
right. So I mean, she got
so
to.
we're bringing religion into this.
She got some problems. She do not need to be worried about no polyamorous relationship at all.
Yeah, she's got a lot to work through. I don't even think polyamory should even be put on the table for years.
Well,
years.
At this point, her and baby daddy need to learn how to co-parent. She needs to finish her therapy, be the best mom that she can possibly be, tend to her good health and her cancer and all that other stuff. Somebody was blind. I don't remember who it was. But they need to get that together as well. And she needs to be single until she can confidently feel comfortable communicating her STD status.
well, I think in addition to her individual therapy, if she's looking at continuing a relationship with her child's father, they definitely need some couples therapy, because she's involved with a very deceitful person who gave her an STD, and
And she's
I
still
can
trying to make him happy.
Yeah,
Right.
I can only hope there was something that snapped in her head to tell her he is definitely not someone to trust.
Right. And I'm assuming,
that's
I
what we
don't know.
gonna say,
I don't
make her
know.
think.
Yeah, I don't know what the STD. I'm probably figuring it's probably herpes.
Don't matter.
Because she said
It's
now I
not
gotta
high
live with it.
cholesterol, so it don't matter.
I'm saying that I know that doesn't matter. I know that doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, I don't understand why she didn't leave him when she realized he had gave her something without telling her.
Because
Really?
she felt worthless. She felt like she was undervalued. She felt like no one else is going to want to be with her. She felt like at that point there was someone she could talk to and connect with, and she probably hadn't told anyone else. That's why she stayed there.
I don't know. Yeah, that's
Stockholm
me.
syndrome.
I would throw that in the category of, like so many women, she falls into that a piece of shit man is better than no man at all.
Wow.
No,
Wow.
the shit man with an STD is better than somebody else that I gotta tell I got an STD. That's not an easy conversation to have. So her fear of that conversation is keeping her in the position where she is in a toxic situation. Whereas you can just be by yourself and be free as a bird.
That is true. That is so true, man. Yeah, I mean,
She has literally trapped herself in a relationship with someone that has technically sexually abused her. I mean, giving someone an STD by not disclosing the fact that, you know, there's precautions that we need to take because I have an issue, that's sexual assault. That's sexual abuse.
I agree.
I agree. You ain't got no argument for me. Let's go back though. Let's get off of that just for a second. And let's go back to the fact that she said every time he brings up the conversation, I feel like I am being gut punched.
Those are her feelings. That's got nothing to do with him.
That's really expressive. That's almost saying she has an innate fear. That's a fear.
She feels like she's not enough for him. She said it in the letter. So that means I'm inadequate. I've been undervalued. She's confirming her own feelings. And she's being honest with herself to a certain extent.
I get that.
Because
but
when
she said,
people hear polyamory, they think just sex. When I hear polyamory, I'm thinking about a babysitter, somebody to clean the house, you know, to pick up the slack. Right. So if she's only thinking about it sexually, and she said that they're not connecting right now, she's only thinking about somebody with some good coochie, somebody that's going to perform better, someone that might have a sexier body, you know, that minimalist mindset.
Okay, but think about this. Let's think about this.
Her confidence isn't there.
This is the thing that gets me. She says, I don't want to have to deal with the fact that I may have to explain my STD to someone. But she never said anything about him opening up and letting the new partner who he may bring in, hey, guess what? We have an STD.
That's because they haven't established any rules yet.
There's no boundaries here. There's no such thing as let's be upfront and honest with the person who we may bring in so they know what they're getting into.
Well, one, time out. She's used the terminology open and she's used the terminology poly.
Which are totally two different things.
Right. So, just because it's someone else, it doesn't mean that it's someone else that they're bringing in together. It can be, you know, her new boyfriend or his new girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? But if they are doing something polyamorous, then they both need to have a conversation about how to have that conversation. Because obviously he's not good at
it. Really? You think? I don't think he ever intended to have that conversation. Because if it's obvious he never intended to have that conversation, he didn't even have it with her. And they've been together 6 years.
Well, technically, you have people in abusive relationships. He didn't tell you he was going to beat your ass, and when he started beating your ass, you still stayed. So it's the same. You know what I'm saying? It's a mental issue that some women have when they're not mentally strong enough to go on their own and start over. And she's trapped in a situation, and it's unhealthy.
Piece of shit, man, is better than no man at all.
That part.
Listen, I'm just going to say this. I think, my personal opinion, just my opinion, I think that they should not move forward in a poly relationship. I don't think they should move forward in an open relationship. I think this relationship is completely... Yeah, this relationship is broken. This relationship is broken so bad. And it may look good on the outside when you see a building that looks really good, but when you go on the inside and it's got all these stress fractures on the beams and all in the walls, because, yeah, that's what this relationship is. This house, I'm going to say it this way, this house has multiple fractures in it. It has that, yeah, and those fissures seem to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's almost like you got to tear this down and start from the foundation and build it back up.
Right.
That's the only way this is going to work.
But see, my question is this. how come if you've been with someone for 6 years already, how
Right.
come you're depending on that person for your level of confidence? You had your child 2 years ago. You can't blame that person for how you feel about your body. You can't blame that person for, you know, your low self-esteem and all that stuff because they're still with you, you know, so that's something. So you're still tolerating each other. But if your excuse is, I don't know how to tell someone else I have an STD to bring them in a relationship, that's going to be the same reason why she's still there. Because she don't want to be single and then tell somebody else, I have an STD. If I have diabetes and I'm dating Matt, I'm going to say, hey, Matt, you know, I have eating restrictions. I have diabetes. It's detrimental to my health that I stay within a decent diet because my life depends on it.
Right.
And technically, your life does as well. Because you mess around and I go into a diabetic coma, you the first suspect, bro. They don't know I got diabetes.
That's not
They
quite the
just know
same.
you walked
though,
into the house with a dead lady.
What'd you say, David?
I said that's not quite the same when it comes to trying to pursue a relationship because for a sexually
your health-
transmitted disease,
Your
I
health
get
is your health.
I get the health part, but me having sex with you and my desire to do so, that's a whole different discussion as opposed to you having diabetes.
It's not, if someone is cooking for you, that's intimate. If you're eating someone's food, that's intimacy. I'm very particular about what I eat and where I eat and who's preparing my food. I go to a restaurant, I'm not going to eat somewhere if it has a B grade. It's not good enough for me. I go somewhere, I'm going to take a look at, you know, the allergy precautions and things of that nature because I have health problems. It's very important for me to communicate that because my life depends on it. So if I have an STD, I'm not going to be all willy-nilly about it. My life also depends on it. So if you have any type of intimate relationship, something is coming into my body that's being served by someone else, you know, you have a peanut allergy and you go to a buffet, you're going to say something, right?
No, I'm not talking about her disclosing it. I'm talking about her disclosing it and then running the risk of, I'm not interested in you anymore. That's a contributing factor.
But that's just
It's all about full disclosure, and I'm totally on board with that. But that's a fear of, okay, if I say this to this person, then they're no longer going to be interested in pursuing me or getting involved with me. That's what I was referring to.
Then that means it started off wrong from the beginning. But back to the food. If I tell you I have, you know, diabetes and a sugar allergy, a sugar problem, or a peanut problem, and you say, well, I'm terribly sorry, we serve peanuts here. I can't eat there. I don't care how good it looks. It's not good for me. Period.
Your point is valid. I get what you're saying, and I get what David's saying. Because at some point you give full disclosure, and then that person says, "Well, I appreciate that, but I don't want to get caught up in that. I don't want anything."
It does make you disclosure.
Right.
I'm not having sex with you. Do you still want to go on a date? And they'll say no. Oh well.
Okay.
I don't want any more kids.
But that does hit a person's self-confidence, though. I hate to say it will eat at your self-confidence. It just
But
does.
that's not that person's problem. She needs to learn as an adult with an STD. She has to give people that option, and she's not going to be free until she learns how to do that. She's going to continue to stay in that relationship, in this toxic relationship that she's not happy with, someone that is not there for her emotionally. She already said it. They're not having a good sex life as it is. She's gaining weight. She has health problems. It's just going to get worse. So
well, she said had got back on track physically.
And then he said, us bringing another woman. So how on track is that?
I'm just saying that in her letter, she talked about how they have things that improved physically, but they weren't the best of friends anymore and that sort of thing.
that's a whole nother level of intimacy, because at some point, with everything that has transpired, they lost their communication and intimacy connection completely, and that's
And emotions.
that type of that's where the work comes in, and that's where Sweets is right. She's got to put a lot of work into therapy. David's right where she's working on herself, but now they both need to go to couples therapy to even try to salvage this or get back to some level of what they used to have before. Because at no point is where they're at now is going to get them back there. They're going to keep drifting further and further apart, and it's going to get worse in many different ways. My whole thing is, you got a 2-year-old child, so I don't understand where the concern comes based on the relationship. I thought the concern would be to take care of your child and make sure that you're healthy enough and strong enough to take care of your child. That's just me. That's all I'm saying. That's just me. Because if you ain't here, this subject, when I read it, I was like, I had to talk about this.
But you have to think too, a lot of these women are not with these men to take care of their children. They're with these men to validate their confidence. A man does not define who you are, or any partner for that matter. Whether, they're heterosexual or not, they don't define who you are. They don't, establish any value to your individualism. And that's what she's doing. She's utilizing a broken person to validate who she is and how she feels about herself.
Yeah, because homeboy got issues. Yeah, he needs to be in counseling too. I'm sorry, he definitely
needs to be in jail. You out here giving somebody STDs and not telling them your status. You need to be in jail.
No, I doubt that's gonna happen. But
that's sexual assault. No, but it's true. It's
I'm
sexual
not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I doubt it's gonna happen. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
so
I agree. But they just had a car accident. Split the money, girl. Run as far as you can. Use that for a down payment, security deposit, first month's rent. Pay up your baby daycare, and take care of yourself. Don't care nothing about
only Sweets would have thought about that. You just got the money. You gonna get your car.
Yes, you got a car. They have some insurance. Split the money, and you go your way. I go mine. Get you a bucket, something from A to B. Right now, you got a lot going on anyway. The only place you need to go is therapy. Take an Uber.
Yeah, with a car accident, and hopefully it wasn't their fault, and they made money from it. Yeah, because she must be doing okay because she's saying
she worried about trying to have a threesome. She can't be too close enough.
Okay, she can't be that bad off, because she says, I am somewhat successful as an online sex worker.
No, she didn't say successful. I thought she
said somewhat successful. I didn't say fully successful. She said she's had
something different. She ain't doing that too well either.
Yeah, so
what is an online sex worker?
All right.
Phone sex or video camming?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I doubt if she's a cam girl, because she already has a complex about her body. So she's probably just doing phone sex or sex chat or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. So I'm thinking the same thing. I said I still can't drive, and I have started doing online sex work, which I've been mildly successful in. Okay,
mildly doing off. But
and she
can't drive anyway. Split the money, girl. Split the money. Let's go.
As my mom used to say, just leave your shit and run. Just leave it and run.
Right?
Just
take the baby, though.
I always thought that there are places out there that will help you start all over, get everything new of you. Leave it
No,
and run.
time out. Listen, this is a message to these broken women. There is a man out there that wants to fix you because it makes them feel important. And when you're independent and you're totally fixed, they don't want you anymore. That's the best rebound guy. There's a guy out there right now waiting to pick you up off your feet because he feels like he needs you. You need him. Find him, sis. Find him. Just don't have that. Be honest.
You see David's face. You see David's face while you making that comment.
It is true. There are men that want to hear that sob story. Girl, what he do to you? Oh, I could treat you better. I could do this. He did what? He don't appreciate you. Blah, 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 blah. They are there. They exist. Don't be afraid to start over. That's why rebound people exist. They know that they're the rebound guy. They know they're the rebound woman. They do that because it makes them feel like they're needed. And then they carry on. Once things get back in order, that's enough time for her to build up her strength to be honest with someone about her sexual activity. So, David, quick question. Has anyone ever approached you and told you that they have an STD? Someone that you were interested in or attracted to? Huh?
Yeah, it looks like we're coming back. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, we're back. It just froze up for a second there, I guess because of the weather or whatever.
Possibly. I have a
yeah,
question for David.
All right. Go ahead, David.
Has there been any woman that you've been attracted to or someone that you were interested in that disclosed to you that she has an STD?
I guess David didn't hear that because he looks like he's frozen. So David,
No, I think he's frozen. Okay.
My audio is not working very well.
Okay. Yeah, she wants to know if you've ever been with a female who is disclosed to you that she had an STD.
I'm so sorry, but the audio is such that I cannot understand anything anyone is saying.
All right, well, I guess, David, we're going to have to cut you out then because if you can't hear us and can't talk to us, we're going to go ahead and just be me and Sweet for the moment.
Can you hear me?
I hear you totally fine. We know you're fine. No problem. Right now, David is went black on us, folks. He is went black. But
Black power, David. Black power.
yeah. You know what, Sweet? I will answer your question. I had someone I met in college, and I told her I was interested in her, and I liked her, and she says, well, I find you attractive too, but let's meet for lunch and talk. And we went up to Applebee's right by the college. A day or two later, we went up there, and she said, listen, I think you're a really nice guy. I think you're a very attractive guy. She said, you seem to be really liked around the school. She said, but you need to know something. I said, what? She said, I have herpes. She says, I haven't had an outbreak in years. She says, I do have herpes. She says, I understand after me telling you this if you don't want to date me. She said, I have no problem
But
with
she gave you a choice.
She gave me a choice, and I ended up dating her for, I think it was a year and a half. We were really, really careful, but she was one of the best relationships. Oh my God, because it just started off with honesty, and we are still friends to the day. She's married and has 3 kids, I can't remember. And but she told me right up front. And so I was okay with that. I was totally okay with it.
So for me, I met a guy. I was in LA. I think I told you before. And he was so handsome. He was in shape. He looked amazing. He smelled good. All that. I saw him probably 3 or 4 weekends in a row. I used to go up to Leimert Park to listen to live music. And he would say hi, but that was it. So this week we happened to sit next to each other, and he says, "Hey, I really like you." He said, "I like your vibe. You seem pretty cool." So I'm like, "Yes, he finally spoke to me." On the outside, you just like, "Oh wow, thank you very much." And on the inside, you mean like, "Oh." So very next thing that came out of his mouth was, "Well, before I pursue you, are you married? Do you have children?" And I said, "I'm not married. I don't have children." He says, "Well, you are," of course, he was West Indian. So they use terminology like, "You are childbearing. Is that something that you're interested in?" And I said, "Yes, I am. I would love to have a family, all this other stuff." He says, "Well, I like you a lot. I've been seeing you around. I watch how you move and you interact with people. However, I do have hepatitis." He said, and it's very hepatitis C. It's highly contagious for bathrooms, intimate spaces, eating utensils, all that other stuff. And if people want to have children, there's certain precautions that need to be made, and I'm a healthcare professional, and you don't hear a lot about hepatitis. You don't hear a lot about, certain, things, even though it may not be an STD, but it's still a disease nonetheless.
Right.
And I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, wow, like, I've never heard anybody say this before. I'm like, don't they have medicine for this? I'm just going through my brain, you know what I mean? And he was like, no, it's okay. It's okay. He said, "I just like to be forthcoming and totally transparent." He said, "Because I respect you and I want you to respect me as well." And we didn't date just because we didn't date. I don't even remember what happened after that. But he was very nice. He was responsible. And he gave me a choice. You know what I'm saying? Because he could have just not said anything, and we could have went on a date. We could have, hepatitis C is one of those things where kissing can be contagious. You know what I'm saying? Sleeping on the same toilet, or those intimate moments in those intimate spaces. So somebody giving you a choice, an option, is commendable. But if you don't, that's enough to get you chopped up.
Listen, I agree with what you said. I think personally in this situation, based on what this young woman said, she's 20-something. It's not like her life is over. I personally think she needs to work on herself. I think more than anything else, get yourself together. Get yourself together for you. Get yourself together for your child. The relationship can come second or third to that, depending on how your priorities are. But I'm going to say this, in my personal opinion, I think the relationship should have ended when he was deceptive about moving forward, and a couple of different reasons. One, more than anything else, was the STD. That to me was just very deceptive. It was just deceptive.
Not necessarily. Because for her, she may have needed that. Because people get suicidal. People get into those low and dark places. And sometimes people do need to be around someone. It doesn't mean that that someone is of a high grade or a high quality. You know what I'm saying?
Well, okay.
However, the relationship itself, should have been dissolved.
Okay, and this thing does not apply in this relationship. I've always said hurt people. Okay, and broken people can fix broken people because they know where you're at. But in this situation, that last statement does not apply here.
Wait a minute. Based on your logic, it's also feasible broken people will break people.
It can be. It can be. But in this situation, he ain't fixing a damn thing. He's not fixing anything.
Right. He's actually adding more fuel to the fight.
Yeah. Yeah. He might as well. He may have came to this relationship with a full blown on torch and just torched the whole damn thing and said, "Hey, here we are. That's what we got. Let's work from here." But he done burnt it to the ground. She's trying to hold
So
on to
it
something.
one of those broken people that's broken someone.
Say again.
It would appear he's a broken person that has successfully broken someone.
That's right. Yeah, he's. I mean, from what she's saying, he went extensive with it. He just didn't go in and break something. He went in and made sure it couldn't be put back together.
That is true. But the fact that you allow someone to have that much control over your confidence, over, your relationship. So like she said, how do I tell someone else that we have, an STD? So she's going to be stuck there until she can figure that out. And she's literally giving this guy so much control of her, and she doesn't even know it.
Yeah, I don't see them moving forward with someone else for a very, very long time unless they can find someone who is almost practically in the same situation they is emotionally, and no self-esteem, no confidence in themselves. And there are people out there like that. They
Right.
are, but and they get brought into it, and I just don't see it working. I don't. And if someone's smart, they wouldn't go in without seeing the whole picture. But there are people in desperate situations who will jump in and out of a relationship because their relationship they're in is worse, and they're like, "Hey, this is better than what I got right now, so let me deal with this." So yeah, I just don't foresee it. Yeah, man, this was a deep. Me and Steve's gonna be definitely talking about more topics like this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I hope that you guys will continue to listen to the show, and I really, really hope that a lot of you got something out of the show, and hopefully it helped you in some kind of way. And maybe somewhere along the line you realize, wow, I'm in this type of situation myself, and it can what we say can benefit you. Please go and give them 1 minute of what you think they should do if they call themselves. Just 1 minute.
I think that if you are diagnosed with any sort of STD, whether it's professional exposure, whether it's a partner, whether you feel deceitful, whatever it is, get over your emotions and tap into therapy, because it's important for you to focus more on how this disease works, how this disease affects me, how can we be protecting each other and the people around me. Just, get to the bread and get to the meat and the potatoes about the situation and get comfortable enough where you can communicate that information without feeling less than. Because you're still amazing, you're still smart, you're still intelligent, you're still an amazing mom, you're still an amazing dad. All of those things, like one thing does not define you.
That's true.
Be safe, play it safe.
Hey guys, just remember, as we always say at the end of the show, we're here to help someone in this world, and if we can't do anything to help them, we just ask that you don't do anything to harm them. With that being said, I'm gonna say goodbye to my girl Sweet. I thank Dave for coming on the show, and I thank you guys for listening. And we are definitely out.
We at Nightlife 24/7 appreciate you, our listener, who has an open mind and heart and are able to listen, learn, and discuss those issues that affect you and your partner. By discussing these issues, we hope to keep the lines of communication open to help inform you, our listener, and our community. It's on your mind, so let's talk about it on Nightlife 24/7.